Hey guys, it's Adventure. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at the Rans S6 Coyote 2, produced by the guys over at Flyboy Simulations. Now this came out for 2020, about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, but now it's new to 2024, and it's not just a port. No, this is 24 native. It includes the pre-flight features, it has realism and systems in a bush plane, which to me sounds like a fantastic idea. Now I have 4 variants: trike, bush trike, tail dragger, and amphib. Now we'll be testing out 2 of those models today because, let's be realistic, the trike and the tail draggers very similar, and we like big tyres and trikes, or tail draggers, so we're taking this model out. But you can interpret from the trike how that's going to be, and we'll be taking out the amphib as well. Now we have custom engine damage model with dynamic wear and tear, oil, coolant and fuel management, new pre-flight mechanics, including dirt accumulation and wear and tear. We have analog steam gauges with the TDS GTN XI750 compatibility and MSFS error system support. Bunch of liveries here, and full 3D model, interactive cockpit. We have autopilot functionality, circuit breaker behaviors, door physics with custom sounds and damages, foldable maps, and upgraded sounds. So this is not just a port over of their existing aircraft, which I thought was pretty good actually at the time. This is a really decent amount of stuff for €22. So we mentioned the Coyote. What is it? The Coyote is a single-engine, tractor-config, 2-seat high-wing monoplane designed by Randy Schlitter, and it's manufactured by Rans Incorporated. Now, the S6S R1 typically has a Rotax engine. Now, this one is powered by a 100 horsepower 912, so we're looking at some fairly reasonable performance. Let's get on board and we'll take a look around, shall we? Now, starting out here, of course, we have our chocks on the ground. And we have pitot covers. We could even turn the propeller ourselves. See? We're going to hop open the oil. Take the cap off. Put stuff back in. Open doors. Mess with our wheel stuff down here. Go around the control surfaces here. Gives a bit of a wiggle, and the stick's even moving in the cockpit. That's nice. Looking good there. So modelling and texture-wise, I really like how this looks. It's simple, it's effective, it's what the real one looks like. Of course, it is a kit-built aircraft. Fabric wings there, like a lot of bush planes, so very light. So plenty of cool functions and features here. Now I'll pop open. Can I open this? This one does not open from the outside, it seems. So I'll enter in manually. And we can open this so it doesn't get you in or out. Fuel cutoff valve there. Now that's the area on the front here, but if we pop open our chart down here, next page takes us through to here. Now GPS or box, we can switch that to here. And in the box we have a pull-out map, which in this case is, I think, just a generic map. It'd be lovely if that was actually, I sounded very Dudley then for a second. Yeah, it's just Phoenix, Arizona. So just a nice novelty of having a map there. Shame it's not actually the moving map from the sim. That'd be quite cool. But we have the GPS options with both the area support and the TDS GTN. Now we can turn on autopilot up top there, and wheel pants on the normal wheeled version. Not this one, obviously. We can have fuselage decals there, door decals. Pull the doors down for a second so we can see what that looks like. Oh, there's the experimental markings. We've got the Rans decals on the cowl. And on the back there too. We can put our decals on the rear. You can see the still got my call sign on from the Mexican flight. And where's the wing decal? Yeah, there we go, on the underside of the wing. We put up the fuselage as well, and we can have it on the fuselage too. So some customizability there. Now we have our oil levels we can top off. Pull this out properly. I don't know if I'm actually going to do that because the manual isn't with the install. So we have our realism options, and we can of course reset this as we need to. But that does seem to click away, so not sure quite how that one plans to work. But we'll put out the charts properly, we'll go for the startup, and we'll get this thing going, shall we? So, seatbelts, brakes, yes, breakers in, radios off, cockpit lighting off, yes, brakes applied, throttle is set, propeller is clear, starter to engage, throttle to adjust. Really simple, yeah. So, battery power on, close this down here, parking brake is out, these are our flaps, fuel's on there, and we're going to go for our starter, so... What's quite nice though, stock MS tablet up here for us to use and look at, which is really cool to have that as an option in the plane. We've also got these kind of cool sun visors over our head. We can pull those back all the way. And one of my favourite features from his original is the GoPro camera view, where you can have that GoPro onboard camera perspective for landings or cool flying approaches. And it's quite nice to have that. It's not the usual pilot view, and it's a cool little feature. So all our systems on here. We'll pull these down. So it's a little quieter. 1, 2, yeah. Okay, we're good there. Everything is looking nice and ready for us. So let's go have some fun, shall we? We're gonna go play in the dirt. My head is available here. Now, for those who have been asking in the past, I use the Flyboy Simulations Puck head tracking headset. This is not VR. But I will say, in terms of this being native 24 materials and actual export, it looks fantastic. Sim performance is great. And I couldn't really ask for much more else with a bush plane. It's not a big, crazy, powerful, I can haul everything bush plane. This is no 185 or 206, but for a two-seater that can haul a bit of you and somebody else and get in and out of some tight spaces, this will definitely do it. We'll do a pop the flaps, and she's up and away. Pull those flaps in. And we've got so much runway left to use. Pull the power out. Now these road taxis can run pretty hard, but with 100 horsepower, we're not looking at a super dragster, but we're certainly looking at a very capable plane for this kind of flying. So we'll take her upstream here, we'll make an approach to one of the sandbars, we'll give her a kick around there, and we'll see how she does. We'll do a landing and a takeoff, then we'll go get the amphib. Because for me, testing how an amphibian works is very important, because often, well, the physics can leave something to be desired. So we'll pull our power out here. Let her sink down, get to river level. Full flaps are in. We're dumping speed here. Sinking down nicely. We'll put a bit of power in just to hold our nose, because I know the particular sandbar I'm landing on is around the corner here. Not this, don't worry. Okay. Quite slow, 40-ish knots right now. This thing could get slow. Okay. It's quite bouncy here. Whoa, hello. Yeah, some of the terrain's a bit more dramatic than you'd might expect it to be in the sim. There we go. We'll get ourselves down here and turn around, and we'll get ourselves back up in the air. This portion seems to be fairly smooth, so we'll call that a W. That end, not so smooth. Let's see what we can do with this, shall we? Full power. Nose down. Keep the tail up there. 1 and 2 and pop. Okay, nose down, flaps up. And we're away in very short order there. Very capable little plane. Oh, let's just... Out of interest, I want to see if I can do this. Nice. Steady on. Steady on, girl. There we go. Not bad at all. Pop the doors, shall we? I'm quite pleased with this so far. Its bush performance is very, very good. And she looks good doing it. So, to be honest, I'm already thinking this is a valid addition to the Bush Pilot's catalogue of aircraft, and being native, quite a good offering. Let's go take a look at the Amphibian and see if she holds up too. So here we are with the Amphib. Very short wheels there on those floats, but they are quite small floats. Externally, otherwise largely the same. We only have one water rudder, which for the size of this thing makes a lot of sense. Make sure we've pulled off all the things we need to pull off, like our pitot covers there. There's no chocks hidden under there. Fantastic. That won't get in the way for water starts. So, anything on here clickable? Oh, we can click and we can test out these and see how they're feeling. Pretty good. Checking our gear and wheels under there. Looking pretty nice. But we can't actually grab this. That'd be cool something to check if it's moving. Let's get on board, shall we? Again, can't click the pilot's door from there. We'll have the doors open for our flight today. Let's get a little bit soggy, shall we? Okay, fuel is good. Clear prop. There we go. Water stuff there with our gear, and I'm assuming someplace a water rudder will be located. There we go, water rudder down here. Yep, that's our water rudder there. Fantastic. Right. Let's get ourselves out of here, shall we? Ah, I think this is going to be a little bit of... Yes, it is. These are free castering floats, which is not unusual for a plane this size. Not have steering nose wheels. So I'm having to use differential braking here to get us turned around. Okay, so it's going to be a bit more to handle on the ground, but not unexpected for a plane like this. Okay. It's definitely a more visceral experience with the doors open. One notch flaps. Loving the extra bracing we have on the float plane. Bit of authority from the rudder now. So once you get moving, the rudder gives you plenty of authority here. I don't think they like being open. Oh yeah, they're rattling around. Let's close this off before we do anything more damaging to them. Okay, let's get outside, take a look at those gear for a second. Like I said, they're not super complicated, but they are down there. Gear coming up. And it is nice to see my customizable pilot, of course, in the cockpit of this aircraft. Right, those floats are up now. Let's give this a try, shall we, on the water? See how she really plays. So we'll bring our speed down. Give it 2 notches flaps. We'll land just after this bend up ahead. 60 knots, so it's miles an hour on the speedo here. Looking good. Kill some of that speed. I'm going to about 50 miles an hour. You do feel very close to the trees in a plane this small. And I love having those deep, deep doors. Drop her in now. Nice and gentle. Really easy to see how low you are. Ooh. Smooth. Like a butter. Ooh, that's nice. That is rather nice. I'll give it that. That is smoother than a lot of float planes we have in the sim so far. So 2 notches of flaps, we'll go to full power here. We'll see how she takes off. Does she skip and stutter like some Get a steering here. It's actually fairly smooth here. And keep the nose up. Get the nose peeled away. And we're off. Actually impressed. Okay. Actually impressed with that. That's probably smoother than I think we've seen from a lot. We'll give it one more try. And then we'll come back around and we'll put down at the field. But for €22, yes, it's an update to one I already paid for 2020, but the 2021 had none of this depth. So you go to the GoPro camera, there we go. Look at that YouTube flight vlog camera angle. For our landing, let's see if it makes a difference here. One notch flaps, we'll do it for takeoff again. Make it a water touch and go. Yeah, this is rather smooth actually compared to a lot of float planes in the sim. Colour me impressed. Definitely impressed. Okay, pull it out there. Flaps are retracted. Get a little altitude, we'll turn around, we'll come back for a landing at Bella Coola. Now if anyone's curious, this is just Bella Coola in British Columbia. This is the stock scenery here, which is Gaia's model for it. This is nice. Yeah, the original didn't have a ton of features, but it was pretty cool as a plane. I rather liked it as a concept. But this one, with realism systems, engine damage, added functionality and variance to this, you've got a really, really valuable package here that's going to give you quite a lot of utility, and especially with its options in terms of its configuration we have, in terms of integration of various stock new systems, the 24 candy features like our pre-flight stuff. It really adds a level of immersion to a bush plane that it really deserves. And it is native, so it's performing very, very well. The lighting looks great in it, the texturing is more than sufficient. They're not a complicated aircraft and it does it very well. Okay, let's pull that back here. Now, this being the Amphib, it loses speed almost immediately as soon as you pull power. Bring her down nice and gentle. It's a pretty little aeroplane. And I am absolutely more than happy to have paid for this myself. The original model, I was sent a copy of the original aircraft by the developer. I then went out and bought a copy because I really enjoyed it. And this new version for 2024, I went out and purchased myself. Completely myself, as with most stuff I review. And for €22, I do not feel like I've spent more than I would want to for a plane. In terms of what this offers me, it's great in terms of how it's made. It has cool features, and this is a plane I can see staying in my library of bush planes for a good long time. This will live alongside the Norden, Sal's 206, the 185, and other permanent additions to my catalogue. Whoa, steady go. Try to hold a toe brake here and make it turn around. There we go, steady on. She's not got a lot of grunt, so getting it to turn on the spot is not just bad for your tyres, but isn't particularly good for the plane either. But like I said, cool functions and features, not a complex aircraft, but with plenty of things you could add. In fact, I don't know if you could reasonably add more to a complex aircraft like this. And a lot of the bush planes we do have in the sim, of course, all have glass cockpits, so it's cool to actually have some of these basic functions. Now, I have not worked out yet if this is clickable or removable. In some aircraft they are. This one I don't know, because normally as you click the frame and they go away. At least with some of the stock aircraft. So not sure about that. Ooh, what's this? Is that Bobcat? Now, in terms of AI planes that turn up in flight sim that tease me, this is one of them. So we'll just park everything up here. Jolly good. Hop out. I absolutely love this. I love how the water splashes above the ground level there. Yep, that's above the ground level. I just parked it in the floating stuff. We've got mud splashes. We've got other material on the aircraft now. That's really cool. That adds a good level of immersion. Oh, shiny. I And it's not even a bad 3D model either. That's actually a really good 3D model. Now, I know that Milvers has had one of these, and they basically passed off the project. Is this... Milvers is the one that they passed off as a project and just let it become an AI plane. Because that's not, in terms of an exterior model, that's not a bad exterior model. Look at that. I'm meant to be reviewing the Rans. Sorry, I should be looking at the Rans, not the Bobcat. Ooh, I like that. Anyway, yes, Rans S6. Actually worth every penny of €22. I highly recommend it. Would buy again. See you later, guys. Bye.